Well, hello, it's Monday, October 5th, and you're listening to It's Not Over with Dr. Dan Farrell. Today we're going to be talking about the American Holocaust. Dr. Dan Farrell.
It's good to see you, and we're on YouTube now, so people can see how homely Dan Farrell is. But I don't feel so bad. You know why? Because the Apostle Paul was not something to look at. You know, his presence was rather contemptible, but it was his mighty pen. John Calvin was the same way. John Calvin was kind of a skinny, sickly guy, but his pen was powerful, you know. And so, but... and
then, of course, Jesus says there was nothing to desire him.
No comeliness, right? You know. Yeah.
So I think you're in good company, right?
Good company.
So I'm pretty homely, but compared to you two guys, I look pretty handsome.
Amen.
Okay. This week, we are dealing with the American Holocaust, and those of you watching by YouTube, if you'll write in, this is something we came up with, American deaths in major wars and by abortion. And you can see the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, World War I, so on. And I think each cross represents 25,000. Now look at the many crosses since 1973, approaching 60 million. Take my hand, not my life. Abortion kills babies. So if you want this, let us in. Let us know, and we'll send this to you from Morning Star Baptist Church. All right, so today's message, of course, American Holocaust this week. And by the way, the two young men that are sitting with me here, they are just as passionate as I am. We think abortion is murder,
yes,
and we hate
absolutely.
it. And I was preaching at an abortion clinic 2 or 3 weeks ago. And by the way, Vivian and Bob, I just got their last name, but I won't use it, but they are coming on October 11th to Morning Star Baptist Church. A dear couple in their 70s from Dayton, Ohio. And so I'm excited about that. And
how do you know them?
They were there. Listen to this, man. These people have been going to this abortion clinic for 25 years.
What?
Every day.
Wow.
From morning till evening. Now, they didn't say they missed a day. I'm imagining they've had to miss a day or two.
Right.
I don't know if that abortion clinic is open on Sunday because they want to go to church, you know. That was a joke. But I don't know. So is it 6 days a week, 7 days a week? But 25 years, man. And I thought I was against abortion.
Right.
And listen, they're not mean and rude like me. I mean, these people are sweet and kind, but it's a steady, and the doctors up there know them. She stopped this one doctor, this stinking bozo, and she gave him a tract. He rolled the window down, and she said, "Sir, I just want you to know that you need to know Jesus as your Lord and Savior, and I'm praying for you." And he says, "Well, we're all doing God's work in different ways."
What?
Yeah, that's what that reprobate.
Yeah, if you mean God of this world.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, that reprobate. We're all doing God's work different
That's
ways.
sick.
That is sick. You reprobate, man. And of course, when I was up there protesting, now listen to this though. This couple, every once in a while they get some people to join them. There's another couple up there from an Assembly of God church, and they went to their pastor and said, "Hey, can we get some more people from our church?" And the pastor said, "Well, that's not our ministry." So you know what this middle-aged couple did? They said, "You know what? They wrote out a letter that says, 'Here's our membership, man. We're done with this church.'"
Amen.
And they left that church, man. I said, "Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad for that." Now you say, well, if they're still preaching the gospel, give me a break, man. If you're not going to champion the cause of the unborn,
right,
I have a hard time believing that the gospel's that important to you.
Right.
I just can't hardly believe.
Yeah,
that.
I mean, if you are not worried about babies being murdered across town from where you live, then what can you be worried about?
Right there where that abortion clinic is in South Dayton, there are 5 churches, rather large. They got these seeker-sensitive churches, you know, the rock and roll. And one church is called Life Point.
Oh,
yeah, it's beautiful. And none of them want to come and help. None of them. I tell you what, man, those pastors, they don't want to know what I think of them. They don't want to know. I tell you, you're a charlatan. And one's a Baptist church.
really?
Oh, yeah, man.
And the Baptist church won't do anything at all.
No, they won't.
None of them.
Now, I think this young couple, they go to Kettering Baptist, and I think Kettering has sent some people.
Okay.
So I'm not going to say, but they said hardly any churches care.
Right.
And so they said, "Where are you guys from?" I said, "Well, we're from Morning Star Baptist." They go, "Well, where?" I said, "Cincinnati, northern Cincinnati." They just about wept.
Wow.
I
Really?
said, "You see that young couple over there? They're from Kentucky." She said, "So let me get this straight. A Cincinnati church has to come to Dayton to protest abortion." So anyway, we're going to have them come and speak at our church October the 11th. I think they're heroes, man.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
They're heroes.
25
They're standing
years.
in the gap.
Yeah.
25 years.
25 years. Imagine that, man. What year would that have been? That would have been 1990. So they started in 1990, and they're still going strong.
That's faithfulness.
Yeah, man. And he wasn't retired those first 10 years. She's coming out by herself the first 10 years. Every day.
Wow.
Not once a
Every
week.
day. So like even in the winter, in the middle.
In the winter, they put their boots on and their coats, and they have hot chocolate, but from morning till it closes.
So not just like an hour.
Yeah. I've never done that. Now, I've gone and stood for 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
I've never stood all day in front of abortion clinic, not one time.
Right.
I think at the judgment seat of Christ, that couple will not have to give an account for fighting abortion. I think, and we're being listened to all over the world. There's people listening to us from other countries. So did you hear that, Christians? Bob and Vivian are fighting abortion every day for 25 years from morning till close. Think about that. Yes, sir, man. Amazing. Operation Midwife. Now, this is going to be found in the book of Exodus, so if you'll turn to Exodus chapter 1, Josh and Brian, and those listening at home, Exodus 1:15 through 22. History seems to run in cycles. What we mean by that is same problems, same villains, same heroes, same victims. The setting, the clothing, the faces, the props change, but the drama is the same. And yet, sometimes I think as time progresses, humanity sinks a little lower. Each cycle seems to step down into the cellar. And so it's kind of like Halley's Comet. Halley's Comet comes around every 75 years or whatever it is. But every time it comes, it's a little closer to planet Earth each time. And the theory is one of these days Halley's Comet is going to hit planet Earth, you see. Well, I think our depravity and decadence is getting worse. So, Josh, will you read verse 15 through 19, then you'll get 20 through 22.
And the king of the east spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other was Puah. And he said, When ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. But the midwives feared God, and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives, and said unto them, Why have ye done this thing, and have saved the men children alive? And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, Because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively, and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them.
Therefore God dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared God, that he made them houses. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, Every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive.
Now, this Hebrew crisis here, there was a day in the arid land of Ham where the state became more important than the individual. See, that's socialism, that's communism. When ambition gets ahead of morals and expediency, then, of course, expediency is more important than truth. What's good for me is more important than what's right. So socialism, communism is always the pragmatic philosophies, The end justifies the means. Of course, their end never does end up being the end. Pharaoh and the land of Mizraim then had become the envy of the world and the glory of human achievement with the Sphinx and all the pyramids. But there was racial hatred, produced a slave market, and recruited enough laborers to build a half a dozen pyramids, 2 Sphinx, royal cities like Memphis and Thebes and Pithom and Ramses. But this totalitarian government, ruled by Pharaoh, made infanticide legal, and even mandatory if the Hebrew child was a male. It's okay to have a bunch of females, not like same thing in China. In China, they have mandatory abortion, and so people elect to do sex selection, and so they're killing all the females in China. Of course, Chinese are really brilliant, and so now they got a homosexual epidemic because there's no girls to marry. That's great. I mean, go figure. These mental giants, man. It's amazing. So the Nile River was to be the Egyptian god which devoured the precious, innocent lives. But there were 2 women who defied the government and decided to civilly disobey, civil disobedience, Shiphrah and Puah. They feared God more than Pharaoh and helped the Hebrew women deliver their babies, even take them into hiding. Now, these two women are heroines, man. I mean, are you kidding me? At the risk of their own life, they defied the authority of Pharaoh, who was a god. He was worshipped as God. Now, the ECLU, the Egyptian Civil Liberties Union, you like that?
That's good.
Yeah, okay. All right. Blew the whistle and summoned the women to Pharaoh's court. God blessed and rewarded these two courageous women. Now, of course, what they did, to kind of be an Egyptian, they could twist the truth a little bit. They said, well, look, the Hebrew women are so lively. By the time they delivered, they were. Those women back in those days, they'd be working in the field and then have the baby in the afternoon and be out in the field in the morning. And they'd have babies sitting on stools. And people used to make fun of that. No. Put the woman horizontal, put her legs up. You know what they have found out now? They're starting to find out it's better to have a woman sitting on a stool. You know why? Gravity.
Right.
Isn't that amazing? So the Hebrews had it right. So that was the Egyptian crisis, but now the human crisis. Today, the abortion industry is keeping several deadly secrets. Let me give you an example. Breast cancer is linked now to abrupt terminating of pregnancies.
Really?
Wow.
That's right. Abortion is now more dangerous to the woman than miscarriages. An increase of 8,000 just last year alone, and the RU486, I think it's called something else now. I think it's called RU51. I forget what it's called. But this pill could raise it to 50,000 per year, said Dr. Brine. Now, this study was done in New York State over a case of 40,000 women. So it's not something you can just, whistle at. Subsequent pregnancies are also in danger. For instance, if you have one abortion, there is a 14% increase of risk. If you have two abortions, there's an 18% increase of risk. Younger siblings, 1.5% birth rate. Labor complications, 13%. Now listen to this. If the next child you have, if you've had an abortion, there's a 13% chance you're going to have problems in your labor. But if you have no abortion, it's 4.3.
Wow, so that's a huge increase.
Listen to this.
Risk.
Infant deaths after you've had an abortion, and subsequent babies, 8.7. But if you don't have an abortion, 5.3. But we care about women's rights.
Right.
The health, Planned Parenthood, we care about the health of women. And if you dare criticize, what a joke. And so 26,000 pregnancies and deliveries at UCLA to find previous abortions increased. Listen, a previous abortion increased subsequent stillbirths by threefold.
Well, thank you for listening to It's Not Over. I want to encourage you to go check out, you can find some of our older programs on sermonaudio.com/It's Not Over, where we have all of our episodes archived. And also, you can find us on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and browse by channels, search for It's Not Over, and you can find our channel. Be sure to subscribe, and we try to regularly upload videos that we record here. And then also we have our website, morningstarnetwork.org. There you will be able to, if you feel so led of the Lord, we have a donate button, and you can donate to this ministry. And we are asking anyone who would be willing to donate an amount of $50 or more. We would love to give them a book. And we've got Pastor's latest book that he wrote, Soul Winning, Why So Important. We'd love to give that to you. And then also we have this little handout here that you can see if you're watching on YouTube. If not, then be sure to write us, and you can contact us again through morningstarnetwork.org. Here's Pastor Farrell to close.
I would like to encourage you, if you're in the Cincinnati area or Southern Ohio, to visit our church, Morning Star Baptist Church. On October 11th, we're going to be honoring Vivian and Bob. We ought to give them the Shipra and Puha Award.
I like it.
We ought to. We really should. What great heroes they are to take a stand. But I wish that some of you would take a stand also. Because of the gospel of Jesus Christ, we love life. And these precious babies, somebody wants them. Adoptive parents want them. But if you're going to kill them, God will take them. But what do you say, Christian? Let's rise up and let's oppose abortion like we've never done before.